know, we're doing a cookery item now. We're talking about a cookery book, but we haven't never done one like this before.
No.
And this is a real item with a difference. We'll explain what this book is about. It's a fantastic cookery book. Just after Ruth tells you the background to all
Yes,
this.
because in August 2006, the Snook family were torn apart when their 19-year-old son, Dan, died from a cocaine overdose. Now, Dan had turned to drugs after becoming a victim of sexual abuse when he was just 16 years old, and he'd struggled to cope with this awful secret, which obviously led him then to take drugs.
It was a secret that eventually cost him his life, and with us now in the studio to tell us about what happened 3.5 years ago, Dan's parents, Kevin and Marilyn, they have set up a foundation, and selling this book will help that because it's done in their son's name to help others. Our commiserations to you, and we know this is a very difficult story for you to tell, but you're determined that Dan's name lives on.
Absolutely. The book was sort of my way of dealing with the grief, and I sort of tunnel visioned the idea of the book. And the idea of the book came about really from Dan's love of fishing and cooking. And myself being a chef, it made sense to sort of pull in Dan's two loves and create a book.
You've got some big names in there.
Yeah, I've got some big names in there. And to create a book that can raise funds and awareness for the charity we've set up to help other unfortunate youths.
We want now to talk about, you talk about awareness of the dangers. Marilyn, I want to now talk to you about your awareness of your son and what was going on in his life. And this is what any parent will ask themselves. When did it start to go wrong? Did I notice in time? When did you notice things weren't right, and why were they not right?
I think as a parent, you trust your kids. You want to shelve any kind of suspicion that things are not normal. And I just kept noticing that my spoons were disappearing.
Your spoons were disappearing?
My spoons.
In the kitchen?
And I couldn't understand it. I couldn't find them, but that was the first instinct, and then something didn't sit right. But I didn't react to it. I didn't do anything right away. A week or two would go by, and then I would ask.
So in retrospect, why did your spoons go missing?
Dan had a drug habit, and he was stealing the spoons from the kitchen, taking them to his bedroom, and apparently crack cocaine, and that's how you do crack cocaine. You heat it in a spoon. But his bedroom was down the hall, and I just had no idea. I mean, I really never ever imagined that this could be something that my son would be doing.
He was taking this drug for an escape, wasn't he? For a reason.
That's right.
And what was that reason?
The reason was the sexual abuse on the open seas. He was fortunate enough, he loved fishing, he loved the outdoors, and he had the opportunity to get a summer job. It was only sort of for 4 weeks on a commercial fishing boat, where there was a small commercial fishing boat, there was a captain and him. And he knew the implications of 16, 18-hour days. He knew about all of that and was prepared for it.
I'm really looking forward to it, wasn't he?
And really looking forward to it.
Oh, he was so excited.
11 months later, after his return, he opened up to me one day and told me what happened on the fishing boat, where he was sexually abused after these long 18-hour days. And, you know.
And he decided, Marilyn, that he didn't want you to press charges or go after this man, but you had noticed.
He begged us not to do anything.
As a dad, what was your reaction to that?
Well, there was a reason why he begged us not to do anything. The fisherman threatened him with his life, and said that he would also threaten our lives as well if.
But we didn't find out anything until after he died.
No.
But it was when he came back from that fishing trip. You obviously didn't know what had happened to him at that point, but you say that's when his behaviour changed, Marilyn. He became very withdrawn.
Yeah. He had a system. I would try to go into his bedroom, and he would pull out the top drawer as you would try to enter the bedroom, and you couldn't open the door more than 6 inches. And so I could never see into the bedroom, and he knew that I would want to try and intercept and see how he was doing, what was going on. Why are you in your room so much?
See, Marilyn, that would be my big fear, because I wasn't brought up with drugs around me. I never, you know, people,
Yeah.
we work in television,
way.
and people say to us, oh, you must see it all the time at parties. We must go to the most boring parties because
No, you don't recognise
we never
it,
see it. So,
do
I mean, is that a problem, how you recognise what you see, what you're looking out for?
An addict is the most crafty person out there. If they want to do what they want to do, they're going to do it however, whenever, and devious and
Compulsive liar. You know,
compulsive liar. So
But this
he
is your
should be
son you're
talking
talking
to
about.
you.
This is
Yes.
what sort
Yes,
of what
exactly.
sort of
He's
lad?
a darling boy.
Yeah.
Absolutely innocent and as likable as they come. You want to hug him,
Dan
so
never-
you'd never
yeah.
think that he would be lying.
No, but
He
then
never had a bad bone in his body. Dan was just
How did he die?
lovable.
Was it drugs that actually killed him?
Yeah.
Yes,
How do you know that?
through the toxicology report and.
Can you tell us, Marilyn, how you found him on the morning of his death?
The thing is, he had accepted how bad the addiction was and was ready for treatment. Went to hell and back in rehab to purge his system. He actually ended up on heroin. It went from cocaine to crack cocaine to heroin. Got all of the chemicals out of his system, and then was trying to find his way on his return. And he had decided that he was going to finish with this drug dealer that he had in Vancouver.
So he did that. He met up
So he
with
did
this guy.
that.
He went to bed. His last words to
Well,
you were,
he came home from Vancouver and he came to me in my bed and said, "Mom, I want you to look at me. Look at me. And I want you to see that I am okay. I've been good. And I love you, and wake me in the morning. Don't forget to wake me in the morning for work." And so I went in the next morning and I did my routine of opening his bedroom curtains. I mean, I didn't look at him. I went and opened the curtains, and it was a beautiful day. And I turned around and said, "Honey, it's a beautiful day. It's time to get up." And he was not responding, put it that way. So I grabbed the phone and called 911. And I talked to a robot. I remember all of these details. I talked to an absolute robot on 911. And I am in panic mode. I just can't believe this is happening. And within 10 minutes, I had 2 paramedics, 2 police, and 2 ambulance people in this little bedroom trying to save my son. And that's what happened. It was, but the thing is, and I have to share this with you, this was the most trying thing. I don't know if people realize how long it takes to get autopsy results. 33 days. I had to wait.
Toxicology
We had to wait
reports and,
to find out how did Dan die? What actually happened?
it's a
I knew
long
he
time,
died,
yeah.
but what happened? 33
this, we should
days.
explain, of course, all this was happening in Vancouver.
Yes.
Where,
Salt
this
Spring
was
Island,
happening,
yeah.
where you live. You were living in England at that time, and your message now to other parents, and your hope that that the message lives on through this book is what?
Is just so the awareness, try and look for those signs and always be aware of what your
Go on your
young
gut.
ones are up to, yeah, even if you have to spy in their room every so often.
Yeah.
You sense anything's
Do it.
wrong, you
Yeah.
go for it.
Well, he was a boy after the sea. It's an untold story. You've told it now, and you tell it in this book. And it says, Dan, you're always in our hearts, and your spirit lives on in us all, your loving family.
Yeah.
Thank you very much indeed for telling us the story, and we hope it does some good somewhere. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.